I'd like to just take a few moments and offer my condolences to Marshon's family, Catalina, his girlfriend, and we had an opportunity last night to celebrate Marshon's life, tell some stories, share, laugh, cry. Marshon loved the words "one love," so we talked a lot about love as we grieve, and I just got a chance to really share a couple of things that I'll miss the most about Marshon. Those top couple things was he had the most playful spirit of any young man I've been around. His smile could take you to your knees. And in terms of him as an athlete, no one had a better motor than him. So my heart is heavy. Our team's heart is heavy. We don't move on, but we do move forward. Open up to questions.
Calvin.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How do you help your team, the staff, just kind of heal and try to, as you said, move forward?
Yeah, it's a process. There's been a lot of conversations with people that are clearly more of an expert than I am in dealing with grief. We've started the process in terms of Monday. The way we set up the schedule was I wanted just to, the problem, this happened, we're all in the bye, right? So you're making phone calls to people and you're trying to make sense of things and you're not together. And we're always going to be stronger together. We are stronger together. So Monday we set it up to where we had a chance to be together and share and talk. And, we of course offered some people that can help us sort through what we're feeling and the emotions of what we're feeling. And yesterday we had what we call a brotherhood breakfast where we just sat down for about 45 minutes and we just ate together and we just shared and we talked and laughed, cried. And then last night I think the vigil was beautifully done, beautifully done. It was difficult, as you can imagine. A couple of our players spoke, but it's the one thing that Catalina, his girlfriend, that was very important to her. And, of course, these guys are incredible. And so they showed up in droves to be there to support her.
Have you talked to any other coaches? I mean, 'cause you have mentors. I don't know if you called DQ or Mike or you called Spurrier about what do I do? How do I help?
Yeah, I've talked to multiple people. I've talked to coaches. I've talked to, trained psychologists. I've talked to, we've got a great relationship with O2X. They're, former, special operations people. They deal with this, more so than we do on the battlefield and off the battlefield. And but there's no playbook. There's really not. And so that's where the late nights come in. And but the biggest thing for me is being strong for our football team. We've got an incredible locker room. That's where the culture of what we're trying to build. We are bonded more than any of us ever could have thought.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. Could you just take us back to that night? And we haven't really had a chance to talk to you about how you found out and your initial emotions and what you were doing and what did you do?
Yeah, Clarence, I'm going to be limited with the details. I apologize. I know you guys have to ask those questions. It's been a week now, but the biggest thing was got a phone call, and of course we were in the moment we had reason to be concerned about Marshon, and so we moved forward with what we thought was the best plan of attack. And a little while later we got word, and I think I'll leave it at that. it's just difficult to talk about still, and but I'm very, very proud of our guys and the way they've handled this. We had a Zoom meeting on Thursday where guys could get on, and it was very heartfelt, some of the emotions, and it's a strong group, man. It's a strong group of young men, and they're leaning on one another. And one thing I've learned that's interesting is, when you talk to some of the experts, you guys probably do it as well, right? Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good, good. And their sense is that's not the right question. It's, what are you feeling? So that was pretty powerful for me.
I know you guys are doing the helmet decals. Are you going to leave it the locker as is? I mean, how do you? I know it's just beginning. You're still trying to get these answers. How you?
Yeah. Again, we're going to honor Marshon, his family, a number of different ways. The organization have been amazing. We've started the Marshawn Kneeland Memorial Fund, where we can all give and support Catalina, and she's pregnant, and so we want to make sure she's taken care of and the baby's taken care of for the rest of their lives. Our guys it's very important to them and to us. With the other decisions, he's still part of the team, and there'll be decisions that are made, but that won't be made just by me. That'll be made by me and the leadership of this group, and we'll make the right decision. But yeah, we've got time to make those decisions.
Brian, Todd Archer with ESPN. Football players and coaches, you guys can compartmentalize things and able to drive through things. How do you drive through something like this? How do you get through something like this?
One day at a time. Because I think it's going to hit everybody different. I literally wasn't sure I could get through my part of last night speaking at his candlelight vigil, and I did. You just take it one day at a time, and you don't have to have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. We probably won't have all the answers, but you lean into one another. You love on one another. I go back to, the culture and the guys in that locker room will be okay because of the strength that they draw from one another. And we've got some guys that have been through this. I've never been through something like this, this close, that hits this close to home. There's guys that I can draw from with their experiences, and everybody deals with it different. Some guys getting out on the grass is going to be the best thing in the world for them. Some guys getting out on the grass is going to be painful, and that's okay. And we're going to give each other grace and time. But I do promise you this, these guys will be ready to play against the Raiders. And we will honor Marshon with how we play, not just against the Raiders, but for the rest of the season.
You talk about the culture that you've built and the talks you've had with guys, and I'm sure everybody does. Have you said, what did I miss? What could I have done? What could I have seen during those?
Of course. I mean, those questions are natural. You try not to think about them. But when you're having very open and authentic conversations with these guys, the pain is real. The questions are real. But again, the more you talk to the experts, the people that deal with this, all the time, they say a lot of times you're never going to know, and so, but I'd be lying if I said to you I don't wake up in the middle of the night or when I'm on the phone talking to one of these guys, have those thoughts like you do.
John Marshon with The Athletic. I just wondering, I know you mentioned the One Love part at the beginning, but is there any other type, maybe a moment that stands out to you, your first time being around Marshon, or just maybe around the facility or during a game or something that you're just thinking of, that you've been thinking about lately?
There's a lot of them. Again, I think I was able to share last night, so we do these, when O2X came in, we did these surveys, and so you got a chance to, you ask the players different questions, and, try to get to know him on a deeper level, and all the players and coaches fill him out, and just the maturity of Marshon and the way he spoke and the way he talked about, work ethic and discipline and maturity, and was really, really powerful for me. I think I probably go back to, his touchdown the other night, because just the excitement on his face, and it was a huge part in that game for us, gave us the potential for a momentum swing. But when you talk about practice players and the way they work, from a OTA to a walkthrough to a game to whatever, you'd be hard pressed to ask anybody in that locker room if anybody worked harder than Marshon.
And then just what were your thoughts when you see that teams around the league, they're doing like moments of silence, things like that? Just what were your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a special league, guys. I mean, we're blessed to be a part of this league. The outpouring of support for not just me, but our players and ownership, and that's what we love about this league, and that's what we love about this small fraternity of people that we get to be involved with. And if I could show you my phone right now, just the text message that you get from people just showing you love and support and prayer, and that's a big thing for me right now. Spend a lot of time in prayer and looking for answers. But yeah, the National Football League it's an amazing fraternity, and I feel blessed, and I know our players do, to be a part of it because of the support that we're receiving. But we do this together. We like I said, we don't move on, but we do move forward, and we do that together, and we do that by locking arms and working and grieving and growing and processing together.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. Whether it be talking to guys on this team, his family, or just thinking back, is there any story that you've learned over the course of the last week about Marshon that has stood out as, you talk about his genuine love, that part of it?
I'll share this. His high school coach is a guy by the name of Brandon Kimball, and in Marshon's survey that he filled out, he talked about, we asked who, 3 H's: hero, highlight, hardship, and his hero was Coach Kimball. And Coach Kimball spoke last night. I got a chance to visit with him, very emotional. His reasoning for that Coach Kimball was his hero was because he always looked out for him. And I think it shows you as a coach. I thanked him, number one, for that. I thought it was important that he heard that from me. And I also challenged our coaches to understand the impact that we're allowed and blessed and fortunate to have to impact these young men. And not just as football players, but as husbands, fathers, Christians. And so I think the fact that he chose his high school coach shows you the value of relationships to Marshon, and how much he loves the game of football and how much he loved people.
How valuable have the resources that have come in? The league had said on Thursday morning that they sent counseling resources to you guys. How valuable have those resources been, and are they still in the building?
Yes. Again, the league's been great. Our in-house people have been outstanding. We're doing it together, but we feel like we've got incredible support. But at the same time, it's us working through this together, and it's us showing us grace. We're a week out, right? Today's a week out, and it's not going to get easier. It's going to get different, and but I think the plan of getting out on the grass tomorrow and running around a little bit will be, like I said, therapeutic for some of these guys, and for some of the guys that are hurting, that's okay too.
Tom.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. You mentioned the culture and your leaders during this time. For some of the guys who have unfortunately dealt with this before, like Dak and Solomon, how big have they been for your group throughout the past week?
Those are two of the best leaders in the league, in my opinion. We're fortunate to have them. Unfortunately, they're able to talk about something that has been very devastating for them in their past. And but it's not just them. I think, we were able to have some, breakout sessions on Monday where we were able to share, and there's a lot of emotions. And I'm not going to get into the details of those things, but it was hard to hear the pain that some of these guys are dealing with, but it was also very uplifting to hear the strength from other guys, and that's the beauty of a team, right? Like when one side of the ball is playing good, the other side of the ball has to pick them up. When one guy's hurting, someone else has to pick them up. If the head coach is hurting, someone's got to pick me up, and I won't. I'm hurting. And these guys have picked me up, and I've picked them up. And that's what we're going to continue to do because we love one another, and it's what a family does.
Joe.
Joe Wade, Dallas Morning News. Kind of on that note, you have a lot of people look to you in this kind of situation. How do you check in on yourself and check in on some of the other coaches people are looking to them to make sure they're also doing okay?
Constantly, yeah. I mean, it's constant. I think, it's a little bit like a doctor where you're making the rounds. You just identifying, okay, I need to talk to this guy. When it broke, I tried to get to every player I could get to. And guys have been great sharing. I always ask before I get off a call or from talking to a guy, hey, anybody I need to be concerned about or whatnot. And guys I think that's the thing I'm most proud of that we've built is the culture where guys are able to be real and have hard conversations. And I would change it if I could that we're going through this. But I think that this group of young men are very strong, and they're going to lean into one another, and we'll be okay.
Patrick.
Hey, Coach. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. First and foremost, sorry for the loss, obviously. For those inside the building, know very well the Cowboys and the resources they put into mental health, and then of course you have guys that do work in the community as well, Dak Solomon and so many others. But for the fans that are wondering, what are some of those examples of the resources internally that you guys have for players to be able to come to and voice themselves? I don't know if there's any that you could share for the general public just to let fans know that, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to get into specifics, details, Patrick, but believe me, there's a team of people. I think we had, 7, grief specialists, I guess you would say, in the building the other day for those breakout sessions. Talking to the players, letting them share, as you can imagine. Like you guys can guess, some guys are more open right now than others. Some guys, it's still very raw. Some guys, they don't want to speak or share. We're asking the right questions to get them to share so that we can help process all the different emotions. But it's been incredible, the support system that we've had, just from our operations people to the support staff, to the doctors, to the trainers, to people that have reached out. I mean, it's nonstop. We want for nothing, but we still miss our brother, Marshon.
Garrett.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Brian, you said you've never really gone through something like this before. How do you feel like going through something like this will affect or mold just the way you are as a coach and person going forward?
I told the players the other day, and I mean it, they're going to probably get tired of it, but I'm going to always tell them how much I love them. And I do. I love them. I care about them. Probably never be the same, to be honest with you. I'm a people person anyways, but, the one thing that helped, I think, a lot of these guys about being on the bye when this happened was most of them were with people that they loved and cared about. They were with family members. I know I hugged my kids, and my wife, and that helps soothe the pain for a little bit.
Deuce.
Mike Ducey, Fox 4. As you mentioned, there's no playbook for a coach to try to help his team through this situation. How do you allow your team to grieve, maybe even encourage them to grieve, while also stressing the importance of preparing for the job they have to do?
Yeah, I think that's where the strength and character of your football team comes in, Deuce. I think, at the end of the day, we have to work back to a regular routine. And that's what we're going to do. We will move forward. The one benefit of playing on Monday night is we've been given a little bit more time to grieve. That grieving process is not over. There's going to be things that affect us differently, throughout the next couple weeks. But we understand our best way to honor Marshon on the field is by how we play. And that's something that we get to control. And I think the guys are excited about that.
How much are you leaning on your faith to take you through this?
It's everything. I mean, it's everything. I've started where I didn't really want to listen to worship music, or I didn't want to, and then I realized, like, what are you doing, man? Like, my faith is everything to me, obviously, and that's where I'm leaning into, and I'm offering that. And I think we've had Dr. Tony Evans spoke to the team the other day, did an amazing job from a spiritual aspect of it. But again, I do think that a lot of this is going to come down to us loving on one another, sharing with one another, and telling stories. And it doesn't have to be we're going to celebrate the great memories that we have with Marshon, and those are going to be a little easier to tell as the days become weeks and things like that.
Anybody else? Clarence, you had one?
Yeah, I don't want to be that. How do you move forward to get back to football? I mean, we talked about, we got to move forward. When you get back on the grass, when is the how do you do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a fair question. What I'll say to you is, right now we're game planning, getting ready for the Raiders as a staff. It's the players' day off. It's a distraction. It's what we know to do. And when our players come in for meetings tomorrow, we're going to prep and get ready to play Las Vegas. And it doesn't change the fact that we have a game. And for a lot of these guys, this is where they come to get away from things that are hard for them in their life. And that's what they love about this. And that's what I'm leaning on. But, it is a distraction in a positive way. It takes your mind off of it. And he's never out of my mind. He never will be. But it is a distraction when you're watching an opponent that's coming up.
All the anticipation, excitement, how we got these guys coming in, guys coming back, and you want to be excited about them. How do you balance?
No, because one thing's different than the other. We are excited for the guys we have coming back. And, again, what do they want to do? They want to honor Marshon with the way they play. And so someone mentioned compartmentalize. Like, you do break it into different pieces. And it's just it gets blurry sometimes, but there's definitely excitement. These guys, think about some of these guys, what they've had to come through to get back to where they are. So I would never, ever take away from the excitement I have for Demo, coming back and things like that.
Last one, Calvin.
Marshall's so young, like 24, and how much did you call Sutton and your daughter just to say, hey,
Quite a bit. Thanks, guys.